If you have missed, and even probably Messi has missed, to buy FC Barcelona fan token before its 10x increase in price, there might be a good news for you because cryptocurrencies show some signs of returning back. So let me unveil it why, and welcome to a bit shortened episode of Blockrevision's series. Let's begin. Right now, let's get straight to the point of market mover section, and we are discussing over economic calendar as always. But it's Monday today. We would like to take a viewpoint of the whole week ahead. So, as of first on Monday, we have JOLTS job openings, and it's a important measure that helps us to find what's new job vacancies level is. So JOLTS job openings is important gauge that also affects the labor market condition, as it brings us a view for what a recovery pace after this pandemic times is. So job openings recently increased in a number of industries, with largest gains being recorded in other services, state and local government, education, and educational services as well. So we are right now balancing about 9,000 and 9,500 when it comes to longer horizon of time. We can see that this gauge right now is skyrocketing, and it's a sign definitely of getting back labor market to the point of where we were before. However, there is still need to be done in order to non-farm payrolls gauge, and also initial jobless claims that need to keep up as well. On Tuesday, however, you may also watch for non-farm productivity quarter-over-quarter gauge that also brings us a view for an annualized change on changing labor efficiency in production of different goods and services, excluding farming industry. And jumping up to the next topic, that is Wednesday's gauge of core inflation rate year over year, that recently has shown us an unprecedented level of this metrics that was unseen at this level before throughout very long period of time. Just look at the 10 years and 20, even 25 years period. So the inflation rate right now is really outstanding. We can also find that there are some forecasts that may bring to the conclusion that due to economists, analytics, probably we have already peaked in this gauge. So it's very important to watch for, just because when next gauge, next publication brings us even higher than forecast view, there will be much more pressure on the Fed in order to hike its interest rates before the timeline they have given out. So yeah, that's quite important for the market as well. On Thursday, however, we may see GDP from Great Britain growth rate year over year at 22.5% level. So it's 28 points of percentage points higher than it was last year. So definitely after this pandemic outbreak, we have seen a slump in exports and imports, as well as households consumption. But whether this gauge forecasted by analytics is proper or just a little bit off too high, it may show us on Thursday at 2 a.m. Time. So growth rate from Great Britain is also worth watching. And obviously all investors have their eyes widely open to initial jobless claims from US on Thursday, as usually it brings a very important outlook of what labor market is, the condition is right now. So it may also bring the expectations of what the next Fed's decision may be. And I may also look at the gauge of PPI month over month that also brings us a perspective on what's the change in input prices of whether it's raw, semi-finished or finished goods and services. And covering up this section, we may also take a notice on how the US economy is thriving right now, as export prices is about to remain the same. However, import prices is forecasted to get lower, with lowering this inflation pressure as of last month. And switching swiftly to earnings calendar of this oncoming week, we may see that AMC Entertainment is publishing its earnings reports, and due to some analysts' claim, we are on the verge of collapse in terms of AMC price. So whether this AMC publication of earnings will save this meme stock, time will tell. So on Tuesday we have a coin earnings that also is at a very important point in terms of price, as we are just newly getting out of this consolidation that was lasting throughout recent 3 years. So will this earnings report will get us higher, and we will move north. So it's very interesting on Tuesday. On Wednesday we have NEO, on Thursday Palantir, and also on Friday we have one of the more interesting bet, that is Green Power Motor. So that's it for Market Mover section. And now let's get to the economy view section and talking firstly about the threat of COVID-19 to stock markets. Wall Street is watching where you're going to make some big bets. That's the headline originally from Bloomberg, but converted to Crane's Cleveland Business, where you can find that whereas Delta variant of COVID-19 is trying to spook the markets, and there are some threats where we can find that COVID-19 trends are worsening, where bulls are trying to search for signs that the economic recovery is still durable during this anxious times. So we can find that throughput traveler volume this year versus last year is much at the higher level than it was before. So it brings some positive signs of what this season, this fall and winter may be. The threat from COVID-19 might be much less than it was before, but still there are some factors that may impact the lower returns of US indexes than it is forecasted. And we're going to be in an environment where Fed may be in a real trap, where Powell expecting substantial further progress in labor market in order to take a possible point in hiking interest rates of US central bank. There is a publication from JP Morgan where they have attached a mathematical model where job tracker based on alternative data total employment shows us that expected non-farm payroll employment of August will slump to 53K level, where expectations in order to keep its pace of regaining of this labor market is to appear at about 1000 level. So there is no obvious declaration whether this slump will be affected by this Delta variant that is possibly strengthening in power, but definitely it's one of the factors that brings to this negative outlook. So as we can see, the possible interest rate hike might be postponed to the next year or even 2023, depending on how difficult this environment we will have to deal with this fall and winter. So we are getting closer to the point of Wells Fargo suggestion, where strong jobs report is not a game changer for Fed policy right now, and we need to look further in order to estimate what this situation may bring to us. As Schumacher has recently mentioned, the thing is no one has really dealt with a pandemic. We haven't had one in 100 years. So for anyone to say with a lot of confidence that inflation is going to go up and come down pretty dramatically and be back to normal in 4 months or 6 months or something like that seems a bit foolish to us. So there are lots of different viewpoints on what is going to this fall bring to us, but one is for sure: Delta variant is not going away and we need to deal with it. And talking about indexes outlook, I'd like to pull up today cryptos index, that is Altcoin index perpetual futures, so that aggregates the most important altcoins of the crypto industry. So we can find that we have just gone past this July's peak recent of that was at 3,500 points, and we are heading towards 4,650 points. That was where we were at June's peak, but there is much to be done in order to get over them. Fortunately for this industry, crypto sentiment is returning back, so we might see new buyers coming in and following this new building trend, where was commenced at 2,580 points. So it means for us we are still need to be cautious in terms of rejoining this market or just keeping or holding positions, looking for this one level to be approached. But right now it means we are still continuing this bull market, and after this time of hopelessness on the market, we are getting up and trying to forget of what happened during this May's cryptos carnage. And getting to crypto outlook, as of first I need to take a notice on what's the net flow of BTCs on all exchanges. And right now we are in this territory where BTC's outflows are outpacing the inflows to exchanges. So it means customers, users of these crypto exchanges are withdrawing the money, the funds, and trying to get those BTCs to hard wallets in order to secure them for the longer period of time. So they are expecting we are not dropping anymore. This trend is right now pointing that the bulls are here to stay for longer, and we should not get back below 30k in the nearest time. As of the next news, Binance US CEO Brian Brooks tenders resignation. So it means for us that on this crypto industry is ongoing a big crypto regulatory framework cloud that brings us that if we like to this crypto industry to thrive, we need to make it compliant with the new standards of regulators. Otherwise, there will be some bans, some evictions, and I think that it's rather better to cooperate than to battle together. So right now, despite Binance recent troubles, where even Binance was by some of the entities was trying to be shut down in Europe and also in other jurisdictions, Binance is still trying to keep up with those new restrictions and don't really give up, and rather to find partnerships within the industry that helps its regulatory framework to face up to, then rather to make some avoidance, rather to run away from its new restrictions that need to be enforced. And heading towards trade idea section, and today we are approaching again BTC USD as it's right now. Its outlook has cleared out and the bulls are taking over control over this chart. So we can find we have just got out of this resistance at 42k. So it was last resistance of such strength that was keeping us lower at this VPVR territory of the 30 to 42k area. So we are right now heading towards a very important another resistance of also psychological significance, that is 50k. We can sign it with this dotted line. Let's make it happen over here, but it's even more important just to look for the whole area of significance, that is this one, supply zone that we will probably hit on a Bitcoin within few days. However, right now for Bitcoin USD there is a quite decent bet in terms of profitability as we are trying to hit this one first ceiling with a possible stop loss just below those two candles seen on a 1 hour chart. So right now risk reward ratio of this trade is at 2.03. The area of significance when I would find this trade to be still valid is at, let me sign it for you, it's at 47,000 down to 45,000. So within this trading area, I find this entrance to be valid. Otherwise, when the price will escape to the north or to the south, just hang on for another possible bet to take. Okay, so in terms of this pinkish zone, we are also around the point of control of this VPVR, another second territory, where we can find a even more resistance around. So it's very interesting to watch exactly these levels that are supposed to be hit within few days, and as always, remember about risk management. Don't put more than 2% of your trading capital per trade, and put stop losses or set alarms in order to track your position. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, just put it in the section below area. So see you tomorrow.